Hey guys, Kurt here, and today I want to talk about how to change the world. And what I'm going to say, the specific thing that I'm going to say, is something that should be obvious, that most people don't think of, but still should be obvious, and yet would open up so many different cans of worms. But maybe we don't need to look at each can of worms, and I'll explain that too. So first, specifically, what I'd like to point out is that to change the world, you need to change people, and you can't force them. If you force people to change, what do you get? Well, we've seen like many very nasty genocides in human history, different systems of government that have been put into place throughout history around the world in different places, terrible atrocities, genocides, ethnic cleansing, communism, whatever system where people who disagree ideologically are rounded up and killed or sent off to a prison camp or whatever it is, right? So if you try to force people, that means millions of people die because they don't agree. So you can't force people to change. So we get that. But still, people need to change. You can't just change the system of government. Like, let's say we hit the reset button here in the US and took away all the problems and had everything all beautiful and pretty. And just at least here in America, let's just start there. All over the world would be nice, but whatever. We'll just start here in this country where I live and made everything all pretty and nice, right? It wouldn't take very long for somebody to say, I'm not happy. And after 100 years, you're right back to where you were with corrupt politicians running everything and big corporations taking everybody's money and lying and all that. Okay, so we get that. So even if you could hit the reset button, you're going to end up right back where you started. So we can't change the systems and have everything work. And you can't force people to change either, because when you try to force people to change, that means murdering a bunch of innocent people. Okay, so what do? We push the button and just end the world. No, I'm just joking. Let's not do that. But some of you more cynical people might say something like that. Like, just fucking push the button. Fuck it. I don't know. But I don't think that's what we should do. But it's true. People need to change. People need to change. The only way things are going to change is if people change and people just want to do the right thing. There's the whole debate about what's a better system, socialism or capitalism. And probably what's really true is that the best system is where you take the best of this and the best of that, and you figure out how to get those things to work together. And like here in the United States, it's not perfect, but there must be a reason why everybody wants to come here, right? Maybe capitalism is good to a certain degree. And then there's, like we have a social safety net here. We don't have like free health care or anything like that. And there's problems with governments or countries that have free health care, and it probably is related to corruption. But see, there you go. I'm already opening up all these cans of worms. Like if we look at each individual system and pick it apart and try to analyze which system is the best system, we could go on and on all day and never get anywhere, because we would disagree about, if you take the best parts of socialism, who's to say what the best parts are? And by the way, how far are you going to take it before we don't have a capitalist system at all now? And now it's all the way socialist. Or if it's all the way capitalist, then that means there's no social safety net. And we don't even have like Social Security like we have here in the United States, or unemployment insurance, or any of those types of things, or Medicare, because we're going to go all the way capitalist, right? And there's probably going to be some Poindexter that's going to click the dislike button on this video and leave their snarky comment talking about how they're the smartest person in the world and they know how to blend the best of those two systems together. But if you do that, you're missing the point of this video. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? To fix this problem is something else. You can't sit there and analyze these systems and figure it all out. I think I could. I think I have a pretty good idea of how to do that, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe there's some economist that knows something that I don't. Here's the thing. If you want to change the world, you got to change people. To change people, everybody needs to awaken spiritually. And then you're just going to know the answer. Everybody's just going to know the answer. The correct answer has to be in here, right? The correct answer has to be in here. And it's got to be the correct answer. Like people just knowing what to do instead of having to fight over everything. We just, if you're spiritually awakened, not politically woke, that is not spiritually awakened. If you are spiritually awakened, it's not about knowledge. It's about wisdom. It's about knowing what and knowing when. It's about seeing things the way that they are. Seeing things empirically. If you remember from my video last week where I talked about the word empirical and what that means and the implications, right? When you're spiritually awakened, you could talk to somebody about something, and even if you disagree, like figure out how to do it properly without yelling and arguing and fighting and work it out and fix it, right? Like people are way too, I think, what am I trying to say here? People are much too in their head about everything. People are much too ego about everything. People have an agenda all the time, right? People don't live in that place of equilibrium between the self and the world around them. People just don't do that. And all you got to do is take a look around this world to see that that is true. The only way that things are going to change on this planet is if everybody awakens spiritually. Then we don't have to be told what to do. We all just have a knowing about the best way to do things. That's the answer. That's how you change the world, is everybody spiritually awakens. And that's not ego. You're not spiritually awakened because you look like a spiritual person or talk like a spiritual person. You're spiritually awakened because you're tapping into source, which is infinite wisdom. And you could look like anything. You could look like a truck driver and be a spiritual person. And see eye to eye with some dreadlocked, patchouli-wearing hippie type. Okay? It's all about going in here, guys. It's not about appearances. It's not about ideas. It's about wisdom. It's about true spiritualism and accessing something much deeper. That's the answer. Not working things out on paper and arguing. I hope that makes sense to you. Food for thought for the day. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a good week.